Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream today. We're doing it on a Monday instead of a Sunday this week. It's a change of scenery, change of day, but hopefully you guys are still going to come in. Now, I'm going to do like I always do, where we chat for the first few minutes and just kind of see what's going on. I was out filming yesterday, so that was the reason that I didn't live stream yesterday. I was filming in Sheffield actually, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'll have seen that I was filming right outside of where Graham and Ryan and Grace lived in the first episode. Their house. I was right outside of that yesterday filming, so that was cool. But basically, I was just filming so late that I didn't get back till about half an hour before Doctor Who. I didn't actually watch Doctor Who live yesterday. I ended up watching it quite late. I watched it on BBC iPlayer at about 11 o'clock last night. And that is basically the reason that we're live streaming today on a Monday rather than a Sunday. But starting next week, we'll be back to normal days again. It was only just yesterday we were just filming. It was very busy. That was the reason why. This is the most unprepared I've been for a live stream as well. I've written very few notes in comparison to previous weeks. So hopefully this isn't going to be a complete shambles. I have got quite a few things to talk about anyway. So it should be quite interesting. So, yeah. So, we've got quite a few things just in to talk about Doctor Who as well. I've just been chatting to Hannah a minute ago about Doctor Who on a whole, about how this series is doing, the fact that we're kind of in the second half of the series now. Hannah, are you on my social media? Are you tweeting for me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Hannah's here today. She's being my social media intern. So she's going to be tweeting whilst we're doing the live stream. Because obviously I've been so busy with university stuff that I literally have not even had time to schedule tweets today. I haven't had time to obviously live stream yesterday. I literally got home from editing at university literally 10 minutes ago. So this whole setup has been a very, very last minute thing. A very, very last minute setup. So basically, yeah. If you are watching, then feel free to comment. I like hearing what you guys have to say every single week. Hopefully, you'll still catch this live, even though it's on a Monday rather than a Sunday. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start talking about Doctor Who. I'm going to start talking about yesterday's episode, which was called... What was yesterday's episode called? Demons of the Punjab. I think that is how it's pronounced. Good, we've got you guys commenting. I honestly didn't know if any of you guys would be watching today. Dan, hey James, hope you had a good week. Hey Hannah too. Oh, Dan says hey to Hannah. Ace Creeper, hello, hello, hello. Hey, I'm glad that you could make it on a Monday. BGL, hi James. Hello everybody. I'm glad that you're here. It's a bit crazy at the minute. I've been very, very busy, but I did want to make sure that I had a live stream for each of the Doctor Who episodes for Series 11, so I wasn't going to let you down this week. I didn't want to bail on it completely. Christopher Livingston, keep up the good work. Thanks, Chris. Right, let's start talking about Demons of the Punjab then. Yes, that's how it's pronounced. Thank God, Demons of the Punjab. I didn't know quite, when I first read that, I thought it was Demons in Punjab the first time I read it, but I think it's Demons of the Punjab, isn't it? I'm going to need you guys to help me this week because, like I said, I have got very, very minimal notes. So we're just going to go straight into it. So I watched the episode last night at 11:30, half 11. And I was very tired, I had a very busy day, but I wanted to make sure that I watched it because I basically made myself not go on Twitter or any social media after it aired because I didn't want to be spoiled about it. So I watched it last night. Firstly, what did I think was good about it? I really, really liked the setting. I know it was filmed in Spain, and I thought you can't criticise, in the same way that all of the other episodes on Series 11, you cannot criticise the look of it. And it did look really, really good, I've got to admit. I particularly liked, there was a scene where the cart first pulled up to the little house, and I thought that looked really, really great with the mountains in the background. The sky was just blue. It was really, really nice. I thought that was really nice. Another thing that I really, really liked, which I was actually talking to Hannah about just a minute ago, was the little bit at the beginning where they first get in the car, and it kind of does the whole wide shot with the monster looking from the distance at the Doctor and the Doctor's friends. That was something that I feel was much more common in Russell T Davies's era of Doctor Who, possibly in the early days of Stephen Moffat, but I feel like that's something that's kind of gradually disappeared from Doctor Who over the years. So that was nice. I thought straight from the off, you see the sort of monsters out of focus in the foreground of the shot. I thought, okay, these monsters could be promising. I'm quite excited to see what they could be. So let's talk about the monsters very quickly then. The design of the monsters I thought were great. I thought the concept was very good. At the beginning they were quite creepy, and I know that Doctor Who TV, their early review, said that they were set up very well and they were a very, very promising monster. And I agree with that, because I thought for the first half of the episode, I thought that the demons were probably better than a lot of the monsters in Series 11 so far, I would say. I thought they were very, very good. And I thought, this is very interesting. These monsters are quite creepy. They have a bit of motive behind them. I want to know what they're doing there. Especially when the dude, which I can't remember for the life of me his name, the guy who was marrying Yaz's grandma, said that he saw the monsters, the demons, when he was at war, and he thought that they killed his older brother. I really, really liked them. I'm going to talk about the negative side in a minute, because there is a negative side to the monsters that I do want to talk about. What else did I like? I really liked the characters. Again, I feel like this is another thing that is just the same with every week. The setting and the characters, they're both great. I really liked the fact that the teams changed up this week. And by teams, what I mean is Graham was with Yaz and the Doctor was with Ryan. I thought that was very, very nice, because so far in the series, I mean, we're halfway through the series. We're over halfway. And for the first 5 episodes of the series, it was Yaz and the Doctor and Ryan and Graham. And I felt like it was slowly becoming a little bit stale. And I'm glad that they changed it up a bit in last night's episode. And they had Yaz and Graham and Ryan and the Doctor. And hopefully in episodes to come, they'll have Graham and the Doctor and Ryan and Yaz as a team. Because they do seem to, I think, I'm guessing it's probably Chibnall's decision. They do seem to like having the pairs, sort of, they split up in 2 this series. And I thought it was nice just to change that up a little bit, because it was, for me anyway, becoming a little bit stale. Apart from that, I did like the story. I feel like it's one of those episodes that is going to need a second watch. For me, anyway, I didn't love it. And I don't know why that was. It could have been because it was very late when I watched it. It could have been that I just had such a busy day and I was kind of out of it a little bit. But I was excited for the episode. And I thought it started well. At times, I felt like Mandip Gill's acting as Yaz was a little bit flat, particularly the scenes with her and the grandma. I thought were written almost like sort of like a children's television show, and it didn't feel that realistic. And that was one of the criticisms I would say that I have. On top of that, I would say that there were times that I didn't like the story as much as others. I mean, the trouble is the fact with live streaming, not straight away after you've seen the episodes, that I'm forgetting what I've seen. I really liked the bit on the spaceship. I thought the design of the spaceship was particularly good, and it looked very metallic, which I assume it's not actually made from metal, but it looked very metallic, and I really, really liked that. It reminded me a little bit of Robot of Sherwood, which I didn't like that episode, but the spaceship in that episode I really admired because it had kind of like a unique design. So that was something that I really, really liked. I think you guys are still okay with watching me. It just said that my streaming isn't very fast, but I think it's all good, so I'm going to carry on. Now, apart from that, I did enjoy the episode. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. I don't know. There was just something that I didn't feel was there. Marty, James, I was waiting for you yesterday. You need to follow me on Twitter. There's no way for me to... I mean, I guess I could have posted it on YouTube. I was so busy. I just had to write a tweet. Yeah, sorry I didn't live stream yesterday. I did think, oh, this is gonna be great. All of the usual gang are gonna be waiting for me on Sunday. Sorry that I didn't ever turn up. How long did you wait? I hope you weren't waiting for too long. I'm glad that you're here now anyway, though. Let me know what you thought of some of this stuff that I'm talking about, because the consensus... Normally, I don't go on social media before these kind of reviews, discussions. I obviously did, because it's been a whole 24 hours since the episode went up. So I did go on... I have been on Twitter and various social medias, and I have seen that, in general, in my opinion, it seems as though the consensus is pretty positive about this episode, which surprised me a little bit, because I didn't think it was brilliant. I thought it was better than Arachnids in the UK, and I thought it was better than The Ghost Monument. But I would say, for me, anyway, I would personally say that it wasn't as good as The Woman Who Fell to Earth, or Rosa, or the Saranga Conundrum. Those three for me are probably my favourite three of the series so far. I would say this goes underneath for me, and I know this is going to shock quite a lot of you because a lot of you weren't keen on last week's episode. For me, this episode slots underneath the Saranga Conundrum. Dan, I enjoyed the episode more so than last week. Really liked the theme at the end. I felt a bit on the fence about the fact that they had music playing over the title sequence, over the ending credits again. With Rosa, it kind of felt needed. I really liked it in Rosa. But yesterday, I wasn't sure about it yesterday. Maybe I need to watch it again, because a lot of you guys I've seen online have really, really enjoyed it. I've made sure that I haven't watched any reviews, but obviously I have seen tweets. Maybe I need to watch it again and see. But personally, for me, I felt like it wasn't as good. I think the problem was the fact that Dan, you should give it another watch, James. I'll give it another watch after this. Hannah hasn't seen it yet, so I'll probably force Hannah to watch it, and then we'll watch it together. The problem for me, I think, what left a bad taste in my mouth was the fact that it was built up really, really well, and I really, really liked the monster. The problem was when the monster turned out to be not a monster. And I think that was what frustrated me. I think that was probably why Marty, I think, even though it was a Yaz episode, Graham shone more dialogue wise. Yeah, there was. I personally think the bit that I thought was the most emotional, even though a lot of people online seem to have really liked that end scene. The thing that I thought was the most sort of emotional out of the whole episode was the bit where they knew he was going to die, and they kind of had to pretend that it was okay, and they couldn't tell him. And there was that bit with Graham where Graham was sort of holding himself back from tears. I thought that was particularly good. I thought Bradley Walsh's acting again was stellar in that. You can't really say that it wasn't. It was really, really great. Another thing that I would say is the fact that although it is like Marty says, I think it was meant to be a Yaz episode. It was meant to flesh out Yaz's character a little bit more. I still didn't feel like it did. That was the thing I'd say. Like, the whole Nan storyline worked. I was kind of a bit thrown off by the fact that they'd been back to Sheffield again. And it hadn't been in an episode, if that makes sense. Because Yaz, I assume, I don't know whether that first scene where Yaz was given the watch, was that before she was travelling with the Doctor, or was that after? And because then I thought that conversation carried on at the end. But I did like the fact that all of Yaz's family were back. They had the sister back, the dad, the mum. I did like that, I've got to admit. I just felt like there were a few problems with the episode. And one of the things that I said after I'd watched it was the fact that if this had been episode 2 of series 11, I think it would have received a better response from me, personally. I think the problem is the fact that we're now at episode 6, and so far there haven't really been any monsters that have really, really caught my attention. I personally liked the Pating last week. I felt like the thing that let the Pating down was the design of it, and the fact that most of the ship managed to survive. I think it would have been better, maybe, if something like the whole TARDIS crew were the only ones left. I feel like I'm going to sneeze in him. Oh, the first sneeze in a live stream. I think that was the thing that let down the Pating. I think apart from that, the only real monster that has been very, very good is Tim Shaw. And I think that is a bit of a problem, personally. Dan, a lot of my slight issues with this series have been based around the aliens in each episode, but I've enjoyed the character development as I feel the focus has been more on the TARDIS team. I agree. Team TARDIS, sorry. I agree. And I think that was good, but I think now we've got 4 episodes left. 4 episodes left of the series, and I think they're going to have to pull something major out the bag to bring it back to take it from a good series to an excellent series. I think the thing that's let it down is the monsters. Marty, I agree. I think they put too much focus on Ryan and Graham in the first few episodes, so Yaz always goes under. Yeah, I do think that. They're trying to play catch-up with Yaz's character, and I feel like it's kind of too late. I like her character, but she's just not as developed, and I get what you guys mean. I personally like her, but I don't know. Marty, I also think the humans are the monster in this series. I mean, yeah, that it does seem to be a running theme, the fact that last night... But then kind of it makes you think, what's the point in the aliens being there? That's the thing. If you were to make an episode like Rosa, the reason why Rosa was so good is because they weren't trying to squeeze an alien into it as well. The problem with last night was the fact that the enemy did turn out to be the humans. But then it just kind of made the alien feel like, what is the point in it being there? And that was the problem I think I had with it. And again, I will watch it again, and maybe my opinion will change, because I was watching it last night, but it was very late, and maybe I just didn't take it quite as positively as I have all the other episodes. I just think it's a shame that that's the only real thing that's letting this series down, and I just think it's a shame. So yeah, the one thing that I wrote on my notes in a quick rush when I was writing down what I thought was that the monsters are still not threatening. I thought the monsters last night had a very, very good start. I just kind of wish... I don't even feel like it would have taken that much time to just change the script a little bit, just so that they did turn out to be the monster. I don't know what their motive would have been, but I personally think that would have been better. I think it would have pleased the fans more as well. That's just my opinion, personally. I haven't written anything down for highlights. There were a few things that I did enjoy. Marty, it's still weird that the aliens just go off with no explanations. Maybe they'll all come back at some point. Again, that's a rumour that's been floating around, isn't it? I kind of think if they don't come back, then to me it seems like quite lazy writing. Because you're right, none of them have really had a proper comeuppance. Comeuppance? Is that the right word, I think? Tim Shaw, the scene with Tim Shaw on the crane is by far the best Doctor punishing monster this series. And that was the first episode. And we're on episode 6 now. And I just think one of the things that I said to Hannah was the fact that it just seems like it was just very, very... This series has just been very, very simple. And I get the fact that they want to make it accessible. But I think the problem with that is the fact that maybe they've gone too far the other way. And it's starting to feel a little bit like... It's a bit condescending. Like it's treating things... It's making things too accessible that it's treating you a bit like an idiot. And that's the thing that I've kind of felt a little bit. I was really excited for last night's episode, and I just didn't think it just thrilled me in the same way that something like Rosa did. That's my honest opinion of it. And maybe I'm just busy and stressed with everything else to the point where that's how I feel about it. Maybe if it was episode 2, I would be much more into it, because it's earlier on in the series. It just feels as though episode 6... I said to Hannah, do you remember when... I don't know if they still do this, but when I was a kid, you could buy the Doctor Who series in like parts. So I had like series 4, part 1, and it was like episode 1 to 3, and part 2, and that was like episode 4 to 6 or whatever. And then part 3 and part 4. And obviously part 4 would have been the finale and like the build up to the finale. I think the problem with this series is that all of the episodes probably have felt like the first couple of episodes in a Russell T Davies series. They've been quite simple, and as much as that is a good thing, I feel like something has got to happen. Like, we've literally got 4 episodes left. I think the stakes have got to be made higher, because right now it wouldn't make any sense. And I know a lot of the rumours have been like Graham might die, one of the companions might leave. If a companion is going to die, then the stakes need to be higher. Because otherwise, how is a companion going to die? And if the stakes do suddenly become higher, will it not feel a bit like, whoa, that just went from 0 to 100 really quick? Because at the minute, the stakes aren't that high. And that's, I think, maybe one of the problems. It's not necessarily a problem with this episode. Again, I enjoyed the episode, but I didn't love it. And I think maybe it's just the fact that I'm becoming a little bit frustrated with the lack of threat. And I really, really liked the bit where the Doctor was confronted by the monsters on the ship. And she said, like, humanity is under my protection. And yeah, And I thought that bit was really, really good. And I thought, yes, this is actually getting somewhere. This is what everyone's been talking about on Twitter. The fact that the Doctor's needed like a badass like speech that really tells the aliens what she thinks. And I thought maybe this is it, and this is going to start going now. We're halfway through the series. Maybe that's the whole point. They wanted to bring people in with the first 5 episodes, and the second 5 episodes were going to be like bam, 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 drama. And then it just kind of fell flat when they turned out to just be mourning the dead. And I thought, maybe it just put me off a little bit. The Disney crew, yo dude, how are you? I'm not bad, thank you. Very, very busy and very, very stressed with you. But apart from that, I'm good. Doctor Who is one of the only things that is keeping me going at the minute. Victoria Gilbert, hey Victoria, let me know what you think of the episode. Marty, maybe Graham gets his cancer back, potentially. I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing that I would say is, with the Doctor, do you not think there would be some way that the Doctor would be able to cure cancer? And I know we're treading on kind of fine ground here, but like there's always been like the Doctor's been like, I can fix your phone so you can call whoever. I can give you this thing that cures you from this. Do you not think in the universe there is no cure for cancer that the Doctor may know? Just a thought, possibly. Marty, Jodie's scenes with the monsters were really good. I thought they were good. I liked the bit in the forest as well, where that like spaceship was in the forest. There's little bits of the episode that are coming back to me now. The spaceship in the forest I thought was really, really nice as well. I just thought the thing that annoyed me the most was the fact that the monster turned out to be good. That was the one thing that they were built up really well, and that was the thing that I think is my problem with this episode. And maybe watching it again and thinking to myself and knowing that they're not actually monsters, maybe it'll be really good. I think it was just the fact that I thought this is really good, like they are threatening, and I was really getting my hopes up for a real big monster that actually left a bit of a mark, and they just didn't turn out to be that, and I think I was just a bit disappointed with that. That's basically my problem with this episode, and I don't want it to seem as though it's bad, because it wasn't bad. That's the thing. It really wasn't bad, but I don't know. I did think, though, the fact that they were going back in time to see Yaz's grandma, did it not occur to Graham once that they could go back and see Grace? Like, did that not make... I don't know. Is that not a natural thing to think? I do wonder whether maybe an episode... I mean, I don't think there will be, unless the finale is they go back to like the setting of episode 1 in the finale, and Graham asks to be put in Grace's place. Honestly, don't know. Victoria, how are you? I'm very good, thank you. Like I said, just stressed. Marty, maybe he wants to be with his wife, and she has to let him die and watch. Potentially, he could get cancer, and he kind of says that he wants to be with Grace. Maybe. I mean, that's getting into quite depressing territory for a kids, what's predominantly a kids TV show, but maybe wouldn't put it past Chibnall to do something like that. Marty, either way, I hope we see Tim Shaw again. I think it will feel weird if we don't. After the whole build-up in the Ghost Monument, it's weird the fact that hasn't been mentioned again. Like, I thought, the only thing I did think was last night when I think the monsters, I can't remember what the monsters were called for the life of me. Let's call them the demons. The demons, didn't they mention that their home planet had been lost or something? And I did wonder, or it had been destroyed or something. I thought for a second they're going to mention the Stenza. They're going to say something about the Stenza, and they just didn't. And I was like, oh. But maybe that was what happened. Maybe that will come out later. Dan, I agree with you, James. It does need to pick up a bit, especially if there is no new series next year. I don't know what's going on with those rumours, with the whole Christmas special thing, the fact that there isn't supposedly going to be a series next year. Even if there is going to be a series next year, the fact is that we are getting 10 episodes this year. And although they have been good, they haven't been that dramatic. And I think if you're only going to give us 10 episodes, they need to be like out of the ballpark. That's my only thing I'd say. Marty, the timeless child, though, still wonder if they get further into that. Honestly, don't know. I personally don't think that's going to turn out to be anything. I think they might have just been talking about the Doctor. I think the whole Stenza thing, destroying planets, I hope that turns out to be something. I don't know about the Timeless Child. I wonder whether people are just reading into it too much about the Timeless Child. So, the only thing I've written for my overall thoughts of the episode was it was another satisfactory episode, which I agree with, and I don't not like. It was just satisfactory, and I think, like I say, if it was earlier on in the series, I think I would have been really, really over the moon with it, because it is a good episode. It's just the fact that the monsters just haven't been as strong as we know they can be in Doctor Who. I think that's the thing. Now, what I will say is that next week's Doctor Who looks great. And on the theme of threats, how creepy does that little robot thing look in next week's episode? Because I think that could be very good. It kind of reminds me a little bit of The Beast Below with the Smilers. I personally think that next week's episode, because again, it's not written by Chris Chibnall, so it may have a different approach. I've got very high hopes for next week's episode. I personally think it's going to be a good one. I also think there could genuinely be a threat next week. And it's a bit ridiculous that we're having to say this, but I genuinely think we could have an actual threat next week. So that's exciting. I'm quite excited for next week, not going to lie. And that's about it. That's all I've got to say on the episode. I need to watch it again, really, because, again, I watched it so late last night. I need to watch it again and form a proper opinion of it. Those guys who did come to my channel last night because they thought I'd be live streaming, make sure you follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description of this live stream. Give me a follow. I'll always tweet on there what's going on with the live stream. Usually it should be fine, and I'm pretty sure next week will be on time. Marty, I think they are playing save. We know now. Save? I think they're playing safe, I guess what you mean. I think they're playing safe. We know now that Jodie is really decent. Give her some dark, scary drama scenes. Yes, I completely agree. Those things next week look creepy. Yeah, they do. Dan, love the look of the robot for next week. Yeah, I do as well. I think it looks really quite creepy. Before I watched the episode, I didn't watch the Next Time trailer, but I saw the thumbnail for the Next Time trailer, and it was that monster, or the robot. I really, really hope they are scary, because I think they could be quite good. I really do. So fingers crossed, we're going to get a decent villain next week that actually is a villain. It turns out to be bad, and they are actually sent away by the Doctor at the end of the episode. Please, Chibnall, grant us that. Apart from that, the only other thing I've got to say is the Doctor Who experience is coming back. How cool is that? I can't believe that it's coming back after all this time. I'm really, really excited. I'm definitely going to go there. What would actually be really, really cool is, this is just a thought I just had now, is if I tried to go to the Doctor Who experience on the first day it opened, and then some of you guys could also go as well, and we could all meet up, because that would be cool, and I would 100% be up for that. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. So yeah, that's basically what I've got to say for this week. I really enjoyed live streaming. I wanted to make sure that I live streamed, even though I couldn't yesterday. So I'm really, really glad that you guys showed up. I didn't know whether we'd get all you guys here just because it's a Sunday and I don't know what you're up to on a Monday. Sorry. Dan, love the look of the robot for next week. Dan, I hope your week ahead is less stressful, James. Thanks. It's not stressful. I've just had so much stuff going on with uni. And I've been filming for a new documentary that I'm working on, and I've been presenting it. It's my first proper presenting that I've done. That's what I was filming in Sheffield yesterday. It's just been very, very, very busy. Hopefully it will become less stressful. But I doubt it. But it might do. Fingers crossed. That's all I've got to say about this week's episode. I really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. And that's basically, I hope I'm not here saying the same thing again next week. But that's what I've got to say. I hope you enjoyed watching the live stream today. Like I said before, all of my links for my Twitter, my Snapchat are in the description. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and you're not already subscribed, because as far as I'm aware, you get notified when I start live streaming. And that is about it. Marty, lol, I only stuck with uni at the I only stuck with uni at the minute as well, so my nights are always at home. Yeah, I'm just doing work at the minute, editing and stuff, just doing research and all this kind of thing. Right, I'm going to see you guys next Sunday. I promise we'll try to get it done on Sunday at 8:30, same time, because I don't want to mess you guys around. I'll see you next Sunday after next week's episode, episode 7 of Series 11. I really, really hope it blows our mind. I will reconvene with you guys 8:30 next Sunday. I will see you then. Hope you enjoyed watching the live stream today. Have a good Monday evening. Have a good Tuesday. And I'll see you next Sunday. So, see you everybody.